I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? What's good? UFC 277. Now, guys, I'm gonna make a prayer to the MMA gods that we get the main event. So yeah, let's get into the Money City comments, and then we're going to jump straight into making predictions, breaking down the fights. Alright, the first Money City comment, we've got Brian, who said Jai, Mokaev, Paddy, Chris fight over 1.5, Molly, Paddy, Mokaev. That's money, okay. The second Money City comment is from my boy Pike. He went Paddy, McCann, Mokaev, plus 109. That's money. And another parlay that's pretty similar, plus 120, Mokaev, Molly, Paddy, and that's from Tejman. That's money. That's money. 6ix said, haven't done money line parlays in a min, but can't help myself this time. Mokaev, Wood, Paddy. Guys, the UK fighters, yeah, with the parlays, that's money. And even Beef said there's lots of money to be made. Paddy, Molly, hey, it's all UK fighters. Right, that kind of makes sense because it was a London card. But that's money. Right, we've got a Money City comment from Donovan, who said parlay and Mokaev, Molly, Herbert. It's money. Wagwan, my bro. The Money City play we've got. Again, it's the same. It's pretty much the same parlay every single time. Paddy, Molly, Nathaniel, Mokaev, plus 164. That's money. Okay. And again, we've got the same parlay. Paddy, Molly, Mokaev, broke bets at it again with the Money City. That's money. Let's go. Alright, first matchup on this card, we've got Orion Cosce taking on Blood Diamond. Now, Blood Diamond in his UFC debut, you know, the takedown defense was not good. You know, he was defending submissions for a little bit against Jeremiah Wells, but it's there, you know, the blueprint's there. To beat Blood Diamond, you take this guy to the mat. Now, on the flip side, looking at Orion Cosce, you know, this guy lost his UFC debut to Philip Rowe. He did win round 1, but after round 1, he gets obliterated, completely dusted. And really looking at round 1, you know, he pushes Philip Rowe against the fence, takes Philip Rowe to the mat, but his cardio outside of round 1, you know what I'm saying, not too good. So that's really what you've got with this matchup, you know. Orion Cosce wants to take this fight to the mat. Blood Diamond wants to show that city kickboxing striking. I'm gonna side with Orion Cosce just to get the takedown. If it stays on the feet, then it's all Blood Diamond. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Negumereanu taking on Ihor Potieria, I think is the pronunciation. Might have butchered that one a little bit. Now, I don't care what anyone says. Negumereanu did not beat Kennedy Nzechukwu. He did not beat that guy. He got completely torched in that fight. And I think Kennedy had a point taken. And that's why Nick won that fight. But yeah, going back and rewatching that fight, guys, like, what has Negumereanu really got, you know, to push Kennedy against the fence? You know, what's he got in this fight? He's got the wrestling. He's got the grappling. You know, he's probably going to try to push Potieria against the fence, look to win some control time. But if Potieria can just, you know, make this fight difficult, make it difficult to be pushed against the fence. If Potieria can do that, you know, he might look good. And you look at his Contender Series performance, you know what I'm saying? The hooks are coming pretty quick. The overhands are coming pretty quick. Now, the level of competition that Potieria has fought hasn't been great. But then again, Negumereanu's not exactly great himself. Guys, you put a gun to my head with this matchup. I'm going to side with Potieria to win this fight. If he can stay off the fence, stay off the mat, he might win this one. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Yeon Kim taking on Joselyne Edwards. Now, this is pretty much a 50-50 matchup. I did bet on Joselyne Edwards to beat Ramona Pascal. And to be honest, she kind of made me sweat that matchup. She got hurt to the body at one point, and her cardio didn't look great. You know, she kind of slowed down. It's like most of her attacks were primarily kicks. You know, she didn't want to grapple. She didn't want to punch. Now, on the flip side, you've got Yeon Kim, who hasn't won a fight in a while, although she probably should have got the win against Zombie Girl. But then again, Zombie Girl did end the fight pretty well, and you know these judges, man, they see what they see at the end of the fight and they judge that. But yeah, looking at the stylistic matchup you've got, I think Yeon Kim, her boxing's pretty sharp, right? It's sharp in round 1. It might be sharp outside of round 1, where That's not really the case for Joselyne Edwards. I think this one's going to be a striking matchup. And in a striking matchup, you know, it might be a close one. Ji-Young Kim's got good boxing. For me, guys, I'm going to side with Ji-Young Kim. In a matchup that's 50-50, you know, she's plus 110, plus 115. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Michael Morales taking on Adam Fugitt. Yeah, my pick on this fight, guys, I'm going to side with Michael Morales to win this fight. Now, guys, I am going to say, though, I went and watched tape on Adam Fugitt, right? And this guy's not that bad, right? He's not that bad, but my pick is Michael Morales to win the fight. And that should happen. I took Michael Morales against, who did he fight? It was Trevin Giles in his UFC debut. And that's a tough UFC debut. And what he done to my man Trevin, yeah, the cop, what he done, my goodness, that's a madness. I'm taking Michael Morales to win this fight. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Drakkar Klose taking on Rafa Garcia. Now, starting with Drakkar Klose. Right, this guy's a good boxer, he's a good wrestler, he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Alright, taking a look at Rafa Garcia. If we look at his UFC debut, it was on short notice against Nasrat. Now, he showed up short notice and gave a good account of himself, right? Then he fought Chris Gruetzemacher, and I think every UFC fan was like, yeah, Rafa Garcia should win this one. He should beat Chris Gruetzemacher. Now, of course, he didn't. Then we're all like, you know, I'm going to pick Natan Levy to beat Rafa Garcia. And of course, Rafa Garcia shows up. Then he shows up again against Jesse Ronson. I can't get a read on Rafa Garcia. Can't get a read. Hey, Rafa Garcia really shouldn't beat Drakkar Klose. But if he shows up and gets the win, if he does that, my goodness, I'll be amazed. But yeah, my prediction with this matchup, guys, I have to side with the guy who has good cardio, good boxing, good wrestling. And that's going to be Drakkar Klose. You could say that's Rafa Garcia too, based on his last two performances. But I don't really see Rafa Garcia wrestling Drakkar Klose the way he wrestled Jesse Ronson, the way he wrestled Natan Levy. I don't think he can do that in this matchup. Now, if he proves me wrong and he goes out there and does that, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be a madness, but I'm going to take Drakkar Klose to win this fight. Moving into a matchup here between Don'Tale Mayes taking on Hamdy Abdelwahab. Might have butchered that. There's a good chance I did, but I'm going to call this guy Hamdy. Hamdy, alright? Now, looking at this matchup, you know, Don'Tale Mayes ain't that good. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys what it is. Don'Tale Mayes is not that good. He has won 2 fights in a row. And that has come against Josh Parisian and Roque Martinez. Both of those guys aren't that good. Man, the UFC and heavyweights. The UFC and heavyweights, man, it's not looking that good. Hamdy, this guy's a wrestler. Okay, so if this guy goes in there and just takes down Don'Tale Mayes, then the underdog, the wrestler, Hamdy's going to look good. He's going to look great. On the flip side, like I said, even though Don'Tale Mayes isn't that good, if he can keep it striking, then he might look good against Hamdy, right? Guys, I'm going to side with Don'Tale Mayes, and I do not feel good about that pick. It's really the same thing as picking Alan Bordeaux. It's the same thing as picking Chase Sherman. I'm picking Don'Tale Mayes to win a fight. I hope he doesn't get taken down. Or even if Hamdy slows down, maybe Don'Tale then can attempt to grapple, attempt to end up on top. I think Don'Tale Mayes is probably the safer pick, considering Hamdy hasn't had many MMA fights. Alright, my homies, moving into a matchup that is actually a very decent matchup. We've got Drew Dober taking on Rafael Alves. Man, this is a good one because we know Drew Dober can crack. We know Drew Dober's tough as nails. We know Drew Dober can wrestle. We know Drew Dober's been there and done it many times. You know, this guy's good. Drew Dober is good. Now, the problem is, on the flip side, the opponent, Rafael Alves, this guy is also pretty good. You know, you look at his fight against Mark Diakise. When he hurt Mark Diakise, he jumps guillotine, yeah, takes the win, takes the head. You know what I'm saying? That's a good win against Mark Diakise. Now, against Damir Ismagulov in his UFC debut, he was able to hurt Damir Ismagulov, but couldn't capitalise when he had him hurt. You know, this matchup is a really good matchup. Guys, Drew Dober against Terence McKinney. I took Drew Dober. I bet Drew Dober. Now, Terence McKinney nearly stopped him. Round 1. Inside like 10 seconds, he nearly stopped him. Guys, my opinion on this matchup, if Rafael Alves can hurt Drew Dober the way Terence McKinney hurt Drew Dober, I'm not sure Drew's going to survive. Then you look at the war he had against Brad Riddell, you know. I'm not saying Rafael Alves is Brad Riddell. I'm not saying he can strike like Brad Riddell. The only real way I can see Drew Dober winning this fight, it has to leave round 1. Alves has to get tired, you know, he has to slow down. And Drew Dober kind of takes over. Now my prediction with this matchup, guys, I'm going to side with Rafael Alves. I took him as an underdog against Mark Diakisi. Guys, my prediction with this matchup, anything can happen with this one. I'm going to take the underdog. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Alex Morono taking on Matt Semelsberger. I don't know why Alex Morono is an underdog. That doesn't really make any sense to me. And the reason why it's not going to make much sense, Alex Moreno has way more experience than Matt Semelsberger. Way more. And you look at the win streak that Alex Moreno's been on. You know, completely killed Donald Cerrone. Beat David Zawada. Beat Mickey Gall. Beat Reese McKee. Now speaking about Matt Semelsberger, you know, this guy beat Colton Minus in his UFC debut. And then he beat Jason Witt, which, you know, this guy hasn't got a chin. Then he fought Chaos Williams, where he was kind of a little bit scared to engage with Chaos Williams. Then he beat Jason Witt's brother, which is Martin Sano. You know, this guy's not got a chin. Got dusted. Then Matt Semelsberger fought AJ Fletcher, where this was a good matchup. Now, guys, Alex Morono is not Martin Sano. He's not Jason Witt. He's not AJ Fletcher. He's not any of these guys. You know what I'm saying? He's better than all of these guys. So yeah, I'm not too sure why Alex Morono is even the underdog in this matchup. I'm going to side with Alex Morono. What is Matt Semelsberger supposed to do? Just grapple Alex Morono? I don't think so. If I'm wrong and Semelsberger can grapple Morono round in, round out, then all the credit. But I don't really see that happening in this fight. So yeah, my prediction in this matchup, guys, I'm going to side with the guy who's more experienced in this fight. And that's going to be the Great White, Alex Morono. Alright, my homies, you know what time it is. And if you don't know what time it is, you should know. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's a triple amen, gang. Let's go. Hey, I hope you guys are doing well, doing blessed, having a good day, having a good week, staying high, all of that good stuff, yeah? Now, guys, listen, if the main event is a disqualification, if it's a no contest or any happens, yeah? If it happens again, back to back to back, I dare it to happen again. I dare you to do it again, MMA God. I dare you. Nah, the mixed martial arts gods won't do it again, you know. If you go back to back to back, that's a madness. I really needed that main event to leave round 1. If that main event leaves round 1, I cash out. I got the profit. But yeah, the mixed martial arts gods literally said, listen, all of those Tom Aspinall tickets, watch this. Boom. You know, you hate to see it. You really hate to see that. And you hate to see it the week before, you know, Brian Ortega. I think Brian Ortega was going to, you know, he was going to get the fight to the mat round 2. He was going to do good in that fight. Alright, my homies, let's get into the main event. Sorry, the main card and break down these fights. Let's go. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Magomed Ankalaev taking on Anthony Smith. My prediction with this matchup, I'm going to side with Magomed Ankalaev to win this fight. You know, the only real way that I can see Anthony Smith winning this fight, if he can find a win, I think it would be a submission. You know, it's not going to be a TKO. It's not going to be a decision. It has to be a submission. You know, Magomed did lose to Paul Craig in his UFC debut. Somehow, just magically. So yeah, if Anthony Smith does win this matchup, I think it's going to look like the Paul Craig fight. But what I think most likely happens, Magomed via complete dusteration, you know what I'm saying? I think Magomed Ankalaev will fight for a title at some point, probably after he completely destroys Anthony Smith in this matchup. You know, Anthony Smith has all of the experience, he has good boxing, he has good jiu-jitsu, he has all of that, but it's just not going to work against Magomed Ankalaev. Yeah, my prediction with this matchup, guys, I think it's a pretty easy prediction to make. I'm going to side with Magomed Ankalaev. Alright, moving into a matchup here between Pantoja taking on Alex Perez. Now, looking at this matchup, I think Pantoja has really, really good jiu-jitsu. You know, this guy's jiu-jitsu it's high level. It's very high level. On the flip side, looking at Alex Perez, you know, I would say his striking is pretty good, right? You look at the way he kicked Juicia Formiga. Man, even thinking back to that win against Jose Torres, where he just had a crazy output at the start of the fight. That was a crazy win. Who can remember that one against Jose Torres years ago? I've seen enough fights from Pantoja to know this guy can win the fight. Even if he's slowing down, he can win the fight. Even if he looks like he's tired, he can still win this fight. And the way he should probably do that against Alex Perez, take this guy to the mat. You know, if you're Pantoja, take it to the mat. On the flip side, Alex Perez hasn't been inside the octagon in like a year and a half. Could be closer to 2 years, which is, you know, that's no bueno. That's a red flag. You know, is Alex Perez going to show up and put on a beautiful kicking performance? Is he going to look great with the boxing? Is this fight going to stay on the feet? And Perez just looks really good. I don't really know how this one's going to go. Like I said, Pantoja can win the fight. He can take it to the mat. He's got brilliant jiu-jitsu. Alex Perez hasn't been super active, so yes, it's a tough one. I'm going to side with Alex Perez, the underdog, to show up after a year and a half and put on a nice performance in the striking. Moving into a matchup here between Derrick Lewis taking on Sergey Pavlovich. Now with Derrick Lewis, you know, this guy just wants to knock you dead. He's not super quick. He's not a good counter puncher. He's not like moving really well. He's not doing any of that. My man Derrick Lewis is just literally waiting to unleash a 10 punch combination. And if that combination works, he gets the win. If the combination does not work, then he's going to wait like a minute or maybe 2. And then he'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Lewis does the same thing every fight. So in my opinion, guys, it's pretty much a 50-50 matchup. There's a 50% chance that Derrick Lewis is going to starch Pavlovich. And there's a 50% chance that Pavlovich can just, you know, use the speed, use the footwork. Essentially look to beat Derrick Lewis without Derrick Lewis finding a TKO. That's kind of how you beat Derrick Lewis. Man, Sergey Pavlovich kind of looks like Augusto Gloop's brother. You know what I'm saying? Kind of looks like that. Guys, in a matchup that's really 50-50, you know, 50% chance that Derrick Lewis is going to find that shot and a 50% chance that Sergey Pavlovich, like I said, he can use the speed, can use the footwork. In a 50-50 matchup, I think you have to take the plus money. So I'm going to side with Sergey Pavlovich to use the footwork in this fight. Alright, moving into the co-main event between Brandon Moreno taking on Kai Kara France. I could speak about this co-main event all day, right? This is a rematch, and this is a great co-main event. Now, looking at the first fight between Kai Kara and Brandon Moreno, round one, Kai Kara France looking great. He's looking great. But then you look at round 2, you look at round 3, Brandon Moreno turned to a man possessed. He turned to a man possessed. The kicks look good. He just took control of the fight. Now, some people might look at that first fight and say, you know, if Brandon Moreno can win round 2, win round 3, take control of the fight, you give me a 25-minute fight between these two guys, I'm going to pick Brandon Moreno. That's what some people might think with this co-main event. Now, I do kind of agree with that scenario, right? If Brandon can win 15 minutes, he can win 25. But what I think people have to realise with this matchup, Kai Kara France TKO'd Rogerio Bontorin. He TKO'd Cody Garbrandt. He won a good fight against Askar Askarov. And I took Kai Kara France in all of those fights. I took him against Rogerio. I took him as an underdog against Cody. I took him as a big underdog against Askar Askarov. And he just competed. I kind of think that a lot of people expected Askarov to get the fight to the mat. And Kai Kara showed those people, look, it's not going to be too easy to take me to the mat. And that's really what Kai Kara is, man. He's a well-rounded guy. The boxing's good. The kicking's good. The cardio's good. You know, this co-main event kind of has the ingredients to be a great co-main event. It might look really good for Kai Kara round 1. And then it might look really good for Brandon round 2. You know, what I'm saying is it might be a roller coaster. You know, you might in-play Kai thinking that's the win. And then Brandon Moreno looks good and you might hit that plus money. You know what I'm saying? It's a good co-main event. My prediction is going to be Kai Kara France as an underdog again. And it's not a knock on Brandon Moreno, the assassin baby. We know this guy's good. He's good to go. But we also know that Kai Kara France is good to go. You know, this is a good co-main event. I think Kai Kara can compete with Brandon Moreno, and that's going to be my pick. Alright, moving into the main event between Amanda Nunes taking on Julianna Pena. And Julianna Pena is the defending 135 champion. That's still crazy to say. That's still crazy. Guys, something funny with, you know, making YouTube videos. You can go back and re-listen to what you said on a breakdown. And if you go back and listen to my breakdown on Amanda Nunes and Julianna Pena, it's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of funny. Now, looking at round one between Amanda Nunes and Julianna Pena, everyone was thinking, you know, this is domination. This is restoration. This is looking good for Amanda Nunes. Then, you know, I'm thinking, who spiked my weed? Who put spice in my blunt? What am I seeing? Why is Amanda Nunes getting beat to the jab? Why is Amanda Nunes getting rocked? Then the matchup goes to the mat. And Amanda Nunes, you know, she tapped quicker than Jan Blachowicz. She beat Jan Blachowicz for who can tap quicker. You know, just madness. Now, it's really as simple as this, in my opinion. If the greatest of all time loses and then gets a chance to rewrite that, they would rewrite that. They would fix that. My prediction is going to be Amanda Nunes to fix that loss. I think she's going to break the face of Julianna Pena in this rematch. I'm sure a lot of people are going to look at Julianna Pena plus 200, right? And make a little sprinkle, because you know what can happen. But for me, like I said, if you get labelled the greatest of all time, which rightfully so, you have to show people why you're the greatest of all time. And if you get the rematch, you got to break her face. All right, my homies, be sure to drop down your main event, your co-main event, your Money City plays. Drop all of that in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Mac Miller. All right, peace.